I think we did a lot of good things last year. I think, obviously a power play was an issue, so we've talked about it and, want to be better there. We have some different looks on that this year, so we'll see how it goes and we'll work at that. Special teams is huge this time of year, and obviously Skinner was outstanding against us last year, and so we want to make sure we're making it hard on their goalies. So. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's anything in particular, really. I know I brought up a few things, but we haven't. That's just off the top of my head. It's not something we're really talking about. And at the end of the day, we know what our A game looks like, and when we roll that out, we're a tough team to beat. And if we can roll that out as much as possible, it gives us a good chance in the series.
You did good. You came up with lots there. Pete was talking about, McDavid and Draisaitl are two players who on any given night can kind of get some things done. The difference of having one of those guys in Rantanen, how does that feel for you guys, when you've got one of those big weapons?
I think we got maybe not at the level of Connor and Leon, but I think we've got a lot of guys that can do damage, and we're built to be basically three lines, basically first line, and our fourth line's more like a third. So it's a really deep roster, and I definitely obviously that top end skill of Connor and Leon is tough to match, but at the same time we can kind of do it by committee and with the talent we have. And you look at the numbers guys here put up, it's nothing to bat eyelashes at. So yeah, I think we're not concerned about that. We know we can score and produce as much as any team in this league, and the big thing is just having a good combination of defending and then producing on the offensive side.
As a five-man unit, do you have to play differently against McDavid and Draisaitl, or do you try to play them the same way you play anyway?
No, I think there's some small things you do, but at the end of the day, our system is to keep teams on the outside and not give them opportunities, and it doesn't matter who you're playing against. There is definitely little things you do against those guys because of where they are in terms of in the league of players, but at the same time, it's not like we have a whole different game plan. We play our game, and you roll that out. Like I said, if you roll it out the best of your ability, it gives you a chance to win every night.
Is that difficult not to stray from your system when you see them out there and maybe be a little more careful around them?
No, not at all. We know, like I said, there's some obviously adjustments you make, but as a whole, we're going to do our thing, and if we have to adjust, we will.
The lines yesterday, do you guys talk it out as players when you get put on a different line with different wingers?
Yeah. No, we talk. You want to develop chemistry as fast as possible, and I played with Johnny for a good stint this year, so that was really comfortable. We had a lot of success, so that'll be fun, and Robo a little bit as well, and did well. So, I mean, they're two great players. I've said it 100 times. Doesn't matter who you're playing with on this team. You're going to be with great players because of how deep we are, and I think the biggest thing is talking and coming up with that kind of same page mentality, and you obviously have the game plan from the coaches, and then you kind of play your style within that, and you have the things that everyone's doing, and then you got maybe some little nuances that you can talk about. So we'll I think we're just going to go out there and keep it simple early and go from there.
There are scoring droughts where you can't get anything going, but you've been generating chances for a month here.
Yeah.
Does that make it easier to swallow, or almost more frustrating?
Yes and no. Thanks for noticing, because a lot of people just look at numbers, and I like where I'm at. I like where my game's at, and I'm playing better than I was last year at this time. A lot better offensively, and I'm more myself. I think it's the same player I've been in the regular season, and then you add in the little nuances of playoff hockey too. I think, which I had last year, and feel good about that. Yeah, it's frustrating because it's the most important time of year, and it's the last time you want to go through it. But at the same time, I always focus on process, and if your process is good, and the results come eventually. And I went through a stretch like this during the season, didn't get asked one question about it, right? So, and then actually it was worse than this, and you come out of it, and then you're flying, and it happens, and it happens to everyone. And I mean, the nice thing is we haven't needed it yet through 2 rounds, but at some point, you're going to be called upon to make something happen in terms of results, and that's what you're aiming towards. So, yeah, you just got to focus on keeping your head down, keep going.
Wyatt, maybe you can answer this one. Just Pete was talking about the swing on special teams and how big that ended up being. You come in this year with special teams clicking pretty good. How much of a focus is it for you guys? How much time do you spend on it here prepping for the Oilers and getting it ready?
Yeah, it's super important. It can decide games, decide series. Obviously, we want our special teams to be great in this series, but we also need our 5-on-5 play to be great as well. It's so hard to win, games and series come playoff time, especially as you go along, and so you need your special teams to be great, and you also need your 5-on-5 play to be just as good, if not better.
Left side, third row, Mark.
Jason, you obviously came back very quickly from your leg injury. Are you at 100% yet, or you still feel like you're kind of working your way back to game speed?
I think at this point, and going in this round, it doesn't matter how I feel. I just got to go out there and try to do what I've been doing. Took a little adjustment in the second round, but there are no excuses this time of year. I think everyone's going through something, so it's up to me to get up to my standard, and I'm excited that we have another round to do that.
Stay in that same row.
Wyatt, what has former Oiler Cody Ceci brought to this team since he arrived?
Yeah, he's been awesome. You see how good he is defensively. He's made some huge plays, some huge shots blocked, and he's just he brings obviously off the ice just a great person, great guy to be around. And then on the ice, he's been awesome for us. And yeah, he's a huge part of our kill. That's been great, and just defends super well. And he's even able to get up into the play and create some chances as well.
Left side, second row.
Both of you are examples of how this franchise has been really good about building from within and using the draft. So that being said, what would you say it's been like having someone like Jamie who, A, has not only been maybe one of the best examples of that you've had, but B, someone who's provided continuity for guys like you so you can carry it on once he moves on?
Yeah, it's great. He's obviously an example of a later round pick that was that we the Stars developed and has led into such a big piece for this organization for the last decade, and obviously he's our captain and he does so much on the ice, off the ice. Obviously his leadership. I think just a great example of just finding finding gems later in the draft and just kind of develop them into the amazing player that he is today.
Left side, first row.
Jason, you coming off surgery at the start of this year, and then obviously got going as the year went along quite well. Do you feel like it's coming to at some point in the playoffs, a similar sort of breakout?
Yeah, I think that's a good example of using the regular season. But I know we were playing one of the best regular season team in the second round records wise. So it definitely was going to be a challenge. Certainly coming into it. Off an injury wasn't as easy. As easy as I thought it could be. It was pretty challenging, but I thought I could hold my own there, and similar like the beginning of the season, just hold my own, and then eventually hit my stride. And we got that opportunity when we won Game 6. So it's super exciting. The conference finals is. It's I would say once. We've been here a couple times, but you don't get this opportunity often. So. That's what excites me, excites everyone in the locker room. So we're going to use that extra, or I'm going to use that extra motivation, everyone else, to improve my game, and get an extra jump, and hopefully hit that stride.
Left side, second row, Derek.
Hey, Jason. I just want to ask you, you're in your fourth playoff now. I just want to ask, can you just give me a thought on how in the playoffs, skilled players, they get more attention? The ice, there's a little less room on the ice for you, and how you have to kind of battle through that in the playoffs as opposed to maybe in the regular season where you have a little bit more ice to play with.
Yeah, I think that's super important. I think every team you play against are top players. They're circled. You have to notice where they are. There's skill, you got to play them hard. And I think the biggest thing in playoffs is you don't get any offense for free. Everything's so tight. No one's going to turn the puck over, make sloppy plays, bad reads, bad pinches. Everyone's playing really good defensive hockey. So obviously it's tighter out there for the skill guys, but I think that's where you have to keep it more simple, not force the issue, play in behind them, not try to force passes and make sloppy hope plays. So I think we have a good understanding in that locker room to kind of cut down on that. Our coaches have done a great job. Obviously, you don't get here doing the bad stuff. So I think just working a bit more harder, scoring some greasier goals, doing more of the meat and potatoes type of hockey. You see, I mean, the Florida Panthers are a good example of that. They still have that skill, but everyone on that team can compete hard and do everything the right way. So I think we have that foundation here, and I'm going to try to get my game going a little bit more, but I have that foundation, and we're getting started tonight.
Take one more in English, and then we'll have a French question for Wyatt. Mike, front row left.
Do you want me to ask in French?
Sure. Yeah.
So Pete made some changes, Wyatt, yesterday in the lines. As players, do you talk? Do you sit there and go, we can do this? I mean, these are lines that we haven't really seen, and I guess, we'll see in the first period if that's exactly what happens. But when you get in a practice and you've seen things shuffle around, do you sit there and say, we can do this or we can do that, or this is some potential of what this line could be?
Yeah, I think you definitely want to talk a little bit, especially with the newer line, and just talk through, what kind of looks we, want to look for and what kind of things we might look for. But I think at the same time, we have a really good understanding of everyone's game on this team, and so I think that allows it to be, somewhat seamless when you can change lines, just because been around these guys for so long. Some guys it's only been maybe half this year, the deadline, but other guys it's been my whole 3 years here, and so you get to know each other's games really well, and so I think that helps a lot with different lineups and different lines and playing with different people. But yeah, at the same time, you can definitely have some of those conversations and talk about some different things you want to look for or try to use for your advantage.
I just want to know, what do you think you can learn from last year's playoff experience that would help you this time around against this same team?
Don't go for 14 on the power play or whatever we ended up. I mean, really, that was this special teams decided the series. I actually, when I look back at last year's series, I don't think we could have played a better Game 6, the elimination game in Edmonton. They found a way to win that game. They found a way to score timely goals. The Connor McDavid power play goal in here in Game 5, I guess it would have been. So, and every year is different. So the margins are razor thin. There's not one thing that you can look at, from last year and go, we've got to fix that. But, it's the old adage, you have to be on the right side of more of those battles, the special teams battle, the goaltending battle, the 5-on-5 battle. If you are, you're going to probably advance.
Left side, second row, Mike.
Hey, Pete. There was some shuffling yesterday. What is that balance of how to get the right player alignment on a line with scoring, defending? We've seen in the playoffs, just each are challenges.
Yeah. I mean, you're looking for. You're not necessarily looking for production. I think production follows. You're looking for groupings that go over the boards with some confidence and tilt the ice for you in a positive way. That's where it starts, and we're still looking for that. There's not many teams that aren't that are all set in those areas, and I imagine when you get down to this point of the year with the final 4 teams. Injuries, lose a game, there's going to be a lot of shuffling around of those situations.
Left side, front row, Tim.
Yeah, Pete, last year you obviously had good scores on this team, but you didn't have McDavid or Draisaitl. What is the difference going in with Mikko leading the league in scoring?
Yeah. Well, again, you're down to 32 teams start, and there's only 4 left. And when you put these teams on paper, there's not a weakness, I don't think, on any of the teams that you can point and go, oh boy, you can expose that. There's margins here or there. There's some areas here or there that we all like to think that we can either expose or try and make sure the other team doesn't expose. But, difference makers are important this time of year. It's why they get paid the money they get paid in this league. And, I think last year, like I said, it's not every game. You don't need your guy to score every game, but he's got to show up and create something out of nothing, at least once or twice in a series in order for you to advance at this time of year. And I think McDavid did that last year, that power play goal he scored in here. We couldn't have been in better position, 4 guys around, and, he finds a way to put one in the net. There's only a handful of those guys in the league that can make something out of nothing, and Edmonton has 2 of them. So, it's nice that we have 1 this year.
Next, we'll go second row on the left, Mark.
Hey, Pete. We've been harping on kind of the lack of production from some of your big guys. Do you look at that as a positive in that they're due? You've made it this far without them scoring, or is it a legitimate concern of yours?
I think, listen, we played the President's Trophy winning Winnipeg Jets, the best defensive team in the league. I would doubt any team in the league would come out of that series and not be complaining about scoring. I mean, you got to give Winnipeg credit too. I mean, they did what they do best, and I thought as that series went on, we got more looks. I thought Game 7 particularly, even though it was a 2-1 game, I thought we started to break through with some offensive looks against that team. But I guess my bottom line is I'm not concerned because of the opponent we played in the last round, and in the first round, we played without Robertson and Heiskanen. So, I'll be concerned if we're sitting here at the end of this round and we haven't scored some goals.
Left side, third row.
Hey, Pete, you said possible 11-7 going into this round. Is there any expectation for lineup changes tonight?
I haven't made any of those decisions yet, yeah.
Anything else? We'll take one more. Left side, fourth row, Rish.
Thanks, Pete. The Oilers blue line, maybe fundamentally some of their guys are more puck movers maybe than some of the guys they had last year. Is there a right way to develop a forecheck against a team that has puck movers more often out there?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we played Colorado. I would consider their defense probably more similar, than maybe the team we just played, Winnipeg's defense. But I wouldn't call Winnipeg's defense puck movers, but they're the number 1 breakout team in the league, because of their support and how connected they are. So, I don't know. I mean, we've seen 2 of the top 5 teams in the league. We're getting another one now. So, I don't think there's anything there we haven't seen yet that we can't be prepared for.
And what would you expect physically from this series? How do you think your team sort of manages in that aspect, and how do you think it'll go this series?
Yeah, I don't know. Every series is different. I think we'll see. I think we're built to play any way you want to play, and I like our power play. It's made teams pay the price, if they take penalties against us. So. But we're prepared to play however the series rolls out.